Public Health and Safety Committee for Monday, July 21st, 2025 to order. With a quorum of members present, Alder McElhaney is absent this evening. However, if she arrives late, we'll reverse that and indicate her presence. The first item we have on our agenda this evening is to approve the minutes of our last three sessions, 4/21, 5/19, and 6/16 of 25, copies of which were in the packets. Anyone note any adjustments to the minutes that they need? If not, I'll take a motion to approve all three sets.
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Larson, is there a second? Second from Lukens. Further discussion? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None are opposed, so all the minutes are approved.
I don't think I'm ready.
Yours is on.
Okay, they should be now.
Testing. Yo.
Sorry, we're good now.
Yeah, now they're on.
My screen was blocking my on and off button here, so we're good now. Item number 2 is to consider approval or denial of various license applications. We have 2 denials recommended for this evening under our ordinance. Anyone recommended for denial is allowed to come and discuss the denial with the committee and indicate anything that may be factually inaccurate in their record, copies of which were provided. The first individual recommended for denial for bartender license is Christopher Cron. Is Christopher Cron with us this evening? Christopher, come on up and state your name and address for the record. And then I guess just indicate to us, is anything that we've noted on your record inaccurate?
No.
Okay.
And my name is Chris Cron, 236-267 County Road W in Wausau.
Okay. So the concern, I think, is the totality of the record. Multiple OWI convictions as well as illegal prescription drug charges are what's showing on the report.
That's correct.
Yep, and not a ton of time passed between some of that. So, I think that's the concern. Obviously, under our ordinance, you have the right to submit evidence of rehabilitation, which should have been indicated in the letter that you received from the clerk in advance of this meeting.
Yep.
Have you submitted any such documents?
I dropped off a document, a copy of this, which proves that I finished probation
Okay,
for the last OWI in 2019.
okay,
I was told that that was all I was going to need by the probation office, that I wasn't going to need the other two, and I obviously completed probation for all of them.
okay. So is that the document that you had this evening, Cody? Does that document, Chief, alter your recommendation at all?
That document in and of itself wouldn't change my recommendation. I'll tell you what I tell everyone, which is I'd much rather have you employed doing something you want to do. So if you want to hang out till after the meeting, I can talk to you some more about what additional evidence of rehabilitation would look like.
Okay.
So that if those things exist, you can submit it, and then I'll reevaluate that.
Okay.
So what we typically do in that situation where it's possible that more information might be coming in is we hold up a decision on this meeting, on this item tonight, and then we allow you to produce those documents if they exist and then appear at the next meeting.
Okay.
And then we just defer our decision until you can get all your stuff in.
Okay.
So if that would work, if the committee is amenable to that, we could set Mr. Cron aside for next month and give him some time to work with the PD. Okay, so we'll set yours aside for tonight, and then the third Monday of August, we meet again.
Okay.
And so you'll have that time to get that stuff in.
Is there a way that I can contact you? Because I do have I have a meeting to go to.
Sure.
Is there a way that I can contact you? Since it's going to be a month.
Right,
you
yeah,
know.
you do have some time, so.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll let you guys exchange that information.
Appreciate
The
it.
second individual recommended for denial for bartender license is Dane Nutter. Is Dane Nutter with us this evening? Let the record show that he has not appeared. Also in the packet recommended for approval are some events, River West Fest, New Jobs on the Block Job Fair, a couple picnic licenses. There's a picnic license for the Wausau Festival. I had just asked Cody if the event permit was in on time. It turns out that it was. This license that we have for the Wausau Festival is the picnic license for the beverage service, apparently, is what appears to be coming so close to their event. But their event application in itself was submitted on time. Also in there is the temporary licensing for the fair, the Chamber's Fun at Five events, and the Northwood Summer Showcase Tournament, and a dance hall permit for Jefferson Street Inn is also on that list. Anybody have questions on any of those? Chief, go ahead.
I don't have any questions, but I think it's appropriate just to let you know that we're continuing to work with the organizers from the Wausau Festival. Today, for example, we received an email expressing their expectations of what law enforcement would be doing out at their event, and their expectations are not consistent with what we're going to be doing out there. So we've been going back and forth with it. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's this weekend, so it's by no means am I asking anything not to be approved, but to be aware that we need to make sure we're aligned between their private security, the security of the Hmong American Center, as well as our officers and CSOs that are going to be out there. And I'm sure we'll be working for the next couple days to make sure there's a complete understanding of what everyone's roles and responsibilities are.
Right. I mean, obviously, I hope that they understand, and I hope that that dialogue takes place, that they understand that the resources that you would be sending out there really are, from a larger public standpoint, if they employ their own private security, they don't get to assign and deploy your team. They assign and deploy their own team that they've hired. So hopefully they're clear on the fact that you guys already have a full plate and a job to do with the size of crowd you'll have there. You know, if obviously keep us posted on those discussions. If you reach a stalemate, we certainly can discuss with the organizer as well when we approve the permit for next year.
I'm sure
So
we'll
we're
figure it out.
Clear on, yeah. I mean, I think that they're going to be amenable to work with you. It's just to make sure everyone has a clear understanding, especially if there's new people in the mix. That sometimes is what happens with events, is stuff gets missed or messages don't get passed along. And I think once we get all that clarity, we'll be in a good spot. So anything else on the list? If not, I would accept a motion to accept or deny licenses as recommended by staff, with the exception of Christopher Cron, that we will hold until next time.
I also make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Larson. Is there a second? Second from Watson. Further discussion? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. Number 3 on our agenda is the Wausau Police Department Quarter 2 Operations Report, which you have in the packet. Anything on the report that you want to highlight for us, Chief?
I would just point to the first page for starters, which you'll notice says the deputy chief's message. I was really busy. Todd said he'd take care of it, and then he had chief's message, and I'm like, I will not steal your thunder. So Todd is the author. And what we decided to talk about this month is something that I'm hearing, and I'm getting emails forwarded from alders as well as members of the community, which is concerns about behavior and the condition of the 400 block. And so this really just highlights the work we're doing, the amount of calls that were there. As you look at April was a different scenario because people were hanging out at other locations within the city that are on private property, and they determined that they were going to enforce no loitering, as well as us opening our shelter in May. But as is indicated in there, that 130 events isn't 130 calls to us. That's situations, most of which are situations in which our officers or CSOs are engaged with someone because they're seeing an issue, and then it gets a CAD number because they're interacting with the person and talking to dispatch and letting them know what's going on. There's hundreds of more interactions between police staff and individuals on the 400 block that don't reach that level. It's just more engagement. But it's definitely something that is raising eyebrows within our community, and we just wanted to be able to address that. It's not lost on us. We're working as hard as we can there, and I definitely feel like this is going to be a tough year. But once we get some stability with shelter and day center, that much of that will be mitigated.
Yeah. What I've been hearing more is behaviors people are observing on the stage primarily. versus the rest of the block. I think it started out on the terrace with some of the seating out there, but a lot of it in the last couple weeks has progressed to the stage more. So just that, I mean, it's not the first time we've seen that type of stuff on the block. I mean, for a long time, there was a long pause in that type of activity. First, because the shelter wasn't where it is right now, but second, there was then an uptick of activity at the gazebo. I think since then, lighting and a camera has been installed there for security purposes. That may have made that venue, less fun, less attractive. I don't know, but it seems that at least what I've been hearing is more about the stage.
Yeah, I mean, we see issues across the board down there, some of which are violations of our ordinance or our laws, and those are things we take action on. Other individuals have been like, well, what are you going to do about these people? And I'm like, well, they're utilizing a park for what a park was designed to do. When we put benches someplace, it's kind of inviting people to loiter, to sit there and just enjoy the park. And so if somebody's obeying all the laws, they're welcome to utilize that space. And
Right.
that doesn't always sit terribly well with those people talking to us. But as you've heard me say before, constitutional rights are for everyone, and we're not going to violate anyone's. The other thing I would highlight in here is we had, over this last quarter, a tremendous amount of methamphetamine and fentanyl and cocaine seized by our Crow unit with their investigations. And so, unfortunately, I wouldn't say that eliminated drugs in Wausau during that period of time, but it definitely made a dent when a pound of methamphetamine is a lot of methamphetamine. And so we had pretty significant seizures based on all the hard work that the staff did. So I'm very appreciative of them.
That's amazing. Any amount of that stuff that gets taken off the street is a win, so I feel good about that. But yeah, I agree with you with the concerns about appropriate park usage. Anyone is allowed to use a park appropriately, and when they are, I would expect people to, not be calling you about those folks if they're properly using the facility. That's a public facility. Inappropriate use is something different. Too, I'd heard from a couple of folks that thought that the terrace tables should be moved to the opposite side, which then, of course, creates issues with the fountain when it's in operation. That block was not designed to have those tables on that other side. So I actually told that person that there's just no way that that's going to happen. The way the block is configured is the way it's going to operate. And if people are appropriately using the park, they need to live and let live sometimes too with people. So,
Deputy Chief Baton and I have taken some walks downtown, and we just show up unannounced at different businesses and talk to them about their concerns or their observations. And it is not lost on us that some of the behaviors, although not criminal, are having a negative impact on their ability to do business. They know from customers who, let's say they're utilizing outdoor eating space, and they have panhandling, or they have people yelling at them from across the road. And they might hear positive things about their business, but I don't plan on coming back and utilizing in that fashion. And as we look at what I think everyone hopes for and has a vision of, and what our downtown looks like, with opportunities for people to utilize outdoor space in the 400 block,
right.
I don't think it's something we're not going to ignore, and we're going to recognize those challenges that the businesses have. It's just finding creative solutions.
Right.
That is the challenge. It's a difficult thing to do, but we're going to continue to work on it.
Right. Sounds good. Anybody else have anything on the quarterly report from the PD that you may have questions on that you saw in the report? If not, we'll place their report on file. Item number 4 is the Q2 report from Wausau Fire. Anything in that report, Deputy Chief Plus, that you want to highlight for us?
If you may, quarterly report was not submitted in time to be included in the packet.
Okay.
So, or it's in there, okay.
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. The one of the biggest highlights is we finished our 3rd recruit academy this year. So that does bring our crews up to full staffing. We still have a few, we have a position in our prevention bureau and our division chief of training to fill still. But as far as our firefighters working shift, we are currently full at that ranks. So that's the first time since obtaining the SAFER grant. And that should help alleviate some of our overtime as well.
Good, that's a good thing. And I love the fact that you've graduated the first people from that program that was seated. Doing a little more of that training in-house and that is glad to see that that's successful. We had high hopes for that. So, if that helps with talent recruitment, that is a big win too then. So, anyone else have questions on the fire report? If not, we'll place their report on file as well. Item 5 is the tavern activities report for the month of June. Anything on there you have questions on?
Quiet month. It looks like it was a quiet month.
For summer, I mean, you usually expect things to be a little more, I guess, for June, but it's okay. I mean,
I'll take it.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we have plenty of other things to focus on, but yes, I mean, typically you see an uptick in things during the warm season, but yeah, a little good behavior is all good too. So
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that's very telling about our partnerships with and the different businesses that are listed here, you'll see there were numerous inspections that were conducted during this period of time with no violations.
Yeah.
And no points for this last month. So, great job, everyone.
it is good. I mean, that's what we talk about a lot in the liquor license review subcommittee too, is that with the number of licenses we have out there, the vast majority do it right every day. And that's why we are quick to create accountability when they don't, because it's not fair of us to expect them all to uphold a high standard and then, some that aren't, we certainly don't overlook. So glad to see that everyone is doing it right. I mean, all we ask is that they follow the rules and do it safely, and it appears they are. So good stuff there. So we'll place that report on file as well. Item 6 is the community outreach update, and we've got Tracy Durante with us today, so we'll invite her up to give us a little update. She's been busy, so.
So does anyone have any questions based on what I did submit? Okay. So I just want to point out a couple of things. So in terms of shelter numbers, we had 128 unduplicated individuals utilize shelter in the month of June. 46 of those we will say were new to the shelter, not new to homelessness, but new to the shelter setting. So I just wanted to be clear on that. We didn't see like a huge influx of people coming from other communities. These are individuals that I have known for quite some time that finally just utilized the shelter. And then as far as, some successes, as we know, like shelter is complicated and sometimes it takes people a long time to make a move and move the needle a little bit in their journey out of homelessness. But I was pretty excited to, and I can't wait to tell you about next month already, but in June, 4 guests, one female who we relocated to Anago because she had some supports there, is successfully housed, and 3 males from the shelter were successfully housed in the month of June. Also, we had 2 individuals come to us from Shawano County in end of May, early June, and both of those individuals were relocated back to Shawano County by the time June ended. So we're grateful for that. We just continue to work really hard. We have this month coming up in August, we have a couple of our college kids going back to school. So sad to see them leave because they've been a great asset to what we're doing. But continue to have a lot of really great successes. I did meet with a psychiatrist who has interest with the Medical College of Wisconsin. And so we are looking at a partnership with the Medical College of Wisconsin to have a mental health clinic, potentially 1 or 2 times a month in the shelter setting. So this coming week, I'll be doing a shelter survey to find out what the likelihood of those utilizing shelter would engage in those services, and that will hopefully determine how we proceed from there. Other than that, we do have our positions for shelter lead and shelter advocate currently open. As we see some of these kids going back to school, we're going to need some additional recruitment and staff. So we do have 3 that were interviewed and will be coming on board here within the next couple of weeks. So doing good.
I think that this meeting is the first meeting since the council volunteered at the shelter. And so I will just highlight that that was a very positive experience for those who volunteered. So thank you. You and Chief Barnes both made that a really, I would say, positive and informative experience for us. We were able to have conversations with the guests and sit and talk with them. Got some very insightful feedback from some of them, in terms of suggestions. So really, really a valuable experience for those that did it. I believe we had 6 or 7 council members and the mayor. And so we all worked real well together and served a dinner that the council picked up, and then also helped everybody get ready for their night of shelter. I think that the last of us left between 9 and 9:30, but it was really a really good experience. I have heard from a couple council members who would like to do it again at some point. So, between now and year end, we definitely would maybe look for another night. And we've talked about, I know that the chief has talked about even extending that invitation also to our partners over at county if they're interested in, a group may want to come and do it too, so.
Yes, and I did hear from Lance, and he has extended that invitation to his board members. So
Nice.
even potentially as early as next week, we might have them in there, so.
Nice, that would be great. I think it really is, it gives you a great frame of reference, because I think as we're trying to step through and make these decisions about, what we do next, or, how we do any of it, I think if we can see it and, just like get to know the folks that are using it, and even meet the volunteers, I think that was really like informative for us. I think at least you understand it different if you've been there, I think. So thank you for that opportunity. So
Thank you.
anybody else have any questions for Tracy about her work or about her report for the month? If not, we'll
I
place.
just have to say, thank you for what you do, and you're not burning yourself out, are you?
No, I just took a little vacay this last week. I went and spent some time away from Wausau, and it was really good, so.
We recharged, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
we don't need you to
recharged.
burn yourself out.
Rejuvenated. It's good. It's good. Do that as needed. So, all right, I will place that report on file then. So thank you for that, Tracy. And that's our last agenda item. So I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion from Watson. Is there a second? Second from Lukens. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? No one's ever opposed. So we'll stand adjourned. Thanks, everyone.